training. Let me have a quick recall about the yesterday's session. Today we are in session 3, and about the yesterday session we have discussed in the yesterday session about what exactly the virtualization technology is, then how to create the different kind of VMs. Okay, VM by using, there are 3 different platforms, like one is the virtual box, another one is hyper V, and the third one of the popular technology, that is VMware. So yesterday we have created some VMs including Windows and the Linux as well. So this was all about the yesterday session. Okay, today moving towards, we are going to understand about the Linux, its file architecture, and many more concepts. So today, first of all, before going to discuss the Linux operating system, okay, we need to understand basically what operating system is, or what kind of different operating system platforms are there. So if we see the window operating system, okay, whatever the available nowadays in a market, so there are majorly 2 different platform will found. The operating system, basically what operating system is, whenever we are using a computer, okay, computer requires the 2 basic things. One is the computer hardware, including RAM, processor, memory, CPU, GPU, and all things. And another important thing is a software to run the hardware. So in that software, if you have seen, basically software again are categorized between the 2 different types. One is the system software, and another one is the application software. So what system softwares are? System softwares are those softwares which are mandatory to run our hardware. Without system software, we cannot run the hardware. Basically, under the system software, there are some system software like a BIOS, then another one is the operating system OS, then the drivers, and system software as per our requirement. Whatever the use we are doing on a computer, like we are using the internet, so we need some internet browsers or some Photoshop softwares, then some editing softwares, and multiple. So application software does not have any dependency, but to run the computer hardware, we need to install the system software. In that system software category, the software is an operating system today, which we are going to discuss. So let's see the operating system, whatever the available in a market nowadays. So basically, there are 2 different platforms of the operating systems are available. One is the closed source operating system, and another one is the open source operating system. What exactly the open source and closed source does it means? Closed source operating system, that means the operating system or the code of the operating system, which is not disclosed with the public or with the internet. And that source code, the method to build that operating system, the programming language, the coding and all, it will be not disclosed with anyone. Or basically, we can say those operating systems are a proprietary based operating systems. Those operating systems are comes under the closed source operating system. Into that, the Windows is the one of the biggest brand of the closed source operating system, and open source operating systems, which operating systems source code has already disclosed with the internet and with the publicly. Those operating systems are comes under the open source operating systems. So basically, under the closed source operating system, again there are 2 different categories. Few operating systems has been developed for the server hardware, and few operating system has been developed for the client computer. In that same way, if you have seen the open source operating system, there are also few servers, and few of them are for client OS. Now, in closed source, as I told you, Windows is the one of the biggest platform for the closed source operating systems. So I hope you all know, like there are some Windows Server operating system has been developed by Microsoft. So for example, Windows Server 2008 was there, then Windows Server 2012 was there, then 2016 as well, Windows Server 2016, and again Windows Server 2019. And nowadays the recent and updated Windows Server version, it is Windows Server 2022. So client operating system which we are using on a daily basis, Windows 7 was the one of the most popular client operating system over the market. Later on, Windows 8 was there, 8 and 8, 8.1. So nowadays we are using Windows 10, and recently Microsoft also has been launched with Windows 11. Windows 11, it is the latest operating system by Microsoft. So these are the Windows platform. Windows operating system basically comes under the closed source operating systems. Closed source operating system, hence we cannot modify those operating system. We have to use the operating system as per the Microsoft norms. We cannot modify it. We cannot make any kind of changes into the Microsoft operating systems. And the most important thing is we need to pay. We need to pay, or we need to purchase a license for the closed source operating system. Then another platform of open source operating system, if we have seen the under the open source operating system, servers like Unix was the first open source operating systems. It was developed in a Bell laboratories by two genius, one of the Dennis Ritchie and Kim Thompson. And later on, depend on the Unix source code, there has been a multiple open source operating system has been developed. So under server, there are RHEL, Red Hat, Enterprise Linux, most probably paid or a subscription based operating system it is. Then apart from that, we can use the Ubuntu, which is completely free of cost, community based operating system. We can use the Ubuntu as a server also. Then HP UX is there. So multiple operating systems are there again under comes which comes under the server category from the open source. And in a client, we can use the CentOS. Then we can use the BOSS. BOSS is the Bharat operating system solution developed by Indian government from the open source operating systems. Then we have the Kali Linux, then Linux Mint, and one of again our favorite Android. Android is again Android has been developed by Google by using the source code of the Unix and Linux as well. So this is basically a categorization of the operating systems, okay, under the closed source and open source. So apart from the computer and the laptop and even the server, there are a few different devices, especially if we discuss about the networking devices like a router or a switch or a firewall. So those devices also needs the operating system. So if we discuss about the router switch firewall, especially about the Cisco has developed their iOS operating system. Okay, it was also developed by the Unix and Linux kernel. Okay, so Linux is basically the lightweight operating system or lightweight kernel, we can say, so that we can develop our own operating system because the source code of the Linux and Unix has been available over the internet. So depend on the requirement of the organization. Organizations can be like decide what exactly the operating system we need to use. Uh, if we discuss or if we compare basically the Windows and the Linux, we can mention some points between the comparison of Windows and Linux. So few of the most important points are there. Like if we see the Windows are the paid products or license we need to purchase. Most of the Linux distributions are available free of cost. Second major difference between Windows and Linux is we cannot modify Windows operating system because it is a proprietary of Microsoft. So we need to use Windows as it is, whatever we will get with the license and all. But in case of Linux, yes, we can modify as per our requirement, and that is a uh, most of the important reason why Linux is spreading across the globe with multiple organizations. Even though today nowadays Fortune 100 organizations are using the Linux operating system for their servers. So then if we discuss about the Windows is one is most important fair with the Windows is Windows operating systems are a user-friendly operating systems. Okay, just because of its highly graphics and all, and there is the GUI graphical user interface who works with the Windows operating systems to use it fluently. But Linux are the most of the Linux operating systems are CLI based, command line interface. So these are the some major differences between Windows and Linux operating systems. And one more important thing is Windows required the highly configured computers, like high configuration it required. Uh, for example, if we take one computer, or there are configuration under the three different norms. For example, if we discuss about the RAM, Windows required a minimum 2 GB RAM to run the computer. If we discuss about the processor, so it requires processor of minimum 1 gigahertz. And if we had seen the storage scenario with the Windows, so Windows required minimum 20 GB space of the disk to get installed on a computer. But if this same comparison we see in a Linux situation or Linux scenario, RAM even 128 MB, okay, we can use the Linux operating systems easily. Then about the processor, with minimum 1 gigahertz or even some megahertz, like 256 megahertz processor also can run the Linux operating system. And about the storage, and even 64 MB, okay, with the internal storage, we can use the Linux operating systems. The best example of those hardwares we can compare with our the smartwatches, okay, smartwatches having the Android operating system, very lightweight operating system, or even routers, switches, those devices having the lowest hardware configuration. Those hardware can use the Linux and on again very best performance as compared to the Windows. So this is again one of the biggest reason why Linux is getting more popular amongst the organizations, just because of its feature and just because of its hardware, lowest hardware configuration as well. So this was the basic difference between Windows and Linux. Now, yesterday we had seen how to install the Linux operating system. Let me just quick show you. Yesterday the platform which we was using, it is the virtual box, and let me turn on one of the Linux operating system. I'm going to launch the Ubuntu instance. So in yesterday's session, we have seen how to install the operating system, or even we can use the Linux-based operating systems on a live mode. Windows we cannot use on a live mode, but most of the Linux operating systems are available so that we can use the Linux-based operating system on a live mode. So now I have turned on my one of the Linux operating system. So from the file architecture, okay, of the Linux, we need to understand the file architecture of the Linux. Okay, for exactly what file architecture is, key, what kind of the different kind of directories are there, then what kind of the data will be inside of the different kind of directories. So if we had compared this topic with the Windows, basically we know Windows is getting installed in a C drive, right? The entire operating system will be stored in a C drive, including the all configuration files, setup file, operating systems, different kind of dedicated files and all. So C, then there is more one of the most important directory called as Windows. Then in Windows we can get the system 32. So in this way, okay, the file architecture of Windows is completely installed on a C drive. But the same thing, and if we have seen the in Linux, so in Linux, the file system or the file architecture start with a slash directory, or slash directory is also called as a parent directory. And whatever the data, whatever the files folder will be there in a Linux, everything will comes under the parent directory slash directory. Now, what kind of the different directories are there? Let me list out one by one. So first we are going to discuss about the root. So it is basically slash root. Why slash root? Because root is available, or root is exists inside of the slash directory. So that the entire path of the root will be the slash root. What slash root is? Let me tell you the what exactly the root is. Root is a super user of, you know, super user of the Linux operating system. So whenever we are going to log in a root user on a Linux system, slash root will including with the root users or super users home directory. Like home directory in Windows, if we had seen, we can get the home directories in Windows inside of slash C drive, and inside of that users folder will be there, then admin will be there. So in the same way, but in Windows, all users home directory, including administrator, admin, or any guest user, every directory will get inside of the users directory. But in Linux, situation is different. In Linux, super user root having the dedicated home directory, that is slash root, and rest of the all normal or standard users home directory we can find out in another directory. That directory is slash home. This is the second directory. First was slash root, where we can find out the root users home directory or super users home directory. In slash home, we can get the all standard users home directory or home profile, even standard users home profile. For example, I have the user John. I can get the John users home directory inside of slash home slash John. If Harry is there, slash home slash Harry. In that way, we can find out the all normal users home directory inside of slash home. So then the next directory which we are going to discuss, it is the slash etc. Okay, directory basically these all are the folders, okay, inside of the Linux operating system. So etc directory, basically etc includes with the all setting and configuration file inside of the Linux configuration files. Moving forward, whenever we discuss about the Linux on an advanced level, we will understand exactly what kind of configuration files are there. For just understanding, suppose the user configuration file, group configuration file, storage configuration file, network configuration file, that kind of the configuration file we can get into the slash etc directory. So etc directory is again dedicated for the to store the configuration file in the Linux. Then the next directory, that is the slash bin. Okay, bin basically it is the binary for the Linux operating system. And binary, what exactly binaries are? Binaries are basically the commands, we can say, which we need to run in Linux operating system. So inside of the bin, we can find out the binaries or the commands. Okay, and another one more directory is the slash sbin. Okay, so sbin is for the system binary. System binary and binary, there are two different kind of binaries. Binaries are the for normal users or standard users, like we'll see some basic commands, ls, mkdir, okay, or cd and all. So normal standard users binary we can get in slash bin. Okay, and the system binaries, okay, especially which will run by the root or the super user, okay, it will be the system binary or the higher command, basically you can say, that we'll find out in sbin. Then there is one more directory called as slash boot. Okay, slash boot, normally we can get the booting related files. Okay, whenever we will boot the Linux machine, okay, the required booting related files we can find out in a slash boot directory. And there are again many more directories. Let me show you quickly in a Linux. Okay, so these are all directories, and apart from that, there are multiple directories like slash tmp slash usr slash dev. Dev is for device, storage devices, and all. Okay, so let's have a quick look. So I'm going to open the graphical way, as it is in a file explorer. Okay, in that file explorer, we need to check the other locations, and this other location, the computer, and here it is a mention the slash, as I told you, it is in a parent directory. So let's see this computer or a parent directory slash directory. Inside of the Windows EPC, we can get the C drive, D drive, E drive, or multiple storage drives are there. But inside of the Linux, here are the different kind of directory. Our architecture is there, as we are going to discuss. Bin, it is for the binary. Boot, it is for the booting related files. Dev is for device, like the storage devices and all. etc directory, as I told you, it will include with the all configuration files, setup file. Home directory is there to store the standard users home profile. Also we can find out the root directory. You can see the root is a log here because we logged in on on Ubuntu with a standard user. Hence, we are not getting the access of the root directory because it is in a directory of the super user. Okay. Apart from that, there is a run as it is an again system binaries, USR, var. So this is the graphical user interface, okay, graphics which we are using, but the same thing we need to check in a terminal. Okay. So come to the terminal, and we need to understand first of all about the syntax of the terminal. So syntax of the terminal, that means in Windows, if we see the command prompt, the command prompts syntax is something like this: users, and instead of that you will get the admin, okay, on command prompt, and then we can fire some command whatever we need to use. So in that same way, in the Linux operating system, here is the syntax of the terminal. Whenever we are going to open the terminal in any Linux operating system, maybe it is Windows, maybe it is Ubuntu or CentOS or Red Hat Linux. So what the terminal says, whenever you are going to open the terminal, for example, here is the one user, not admin, it may be the super user, like John is there, okay, and at the rate you will get some values or host name and her, and then finally here you will get the directory, and finally the dollar sign. So this is syntax of the terminal, okay, normally in every Linux operating system. And from after the dollar sign, you can start the typing the commands over like ls or cd. We'll see later. So let's understand what this syntax is saying. Okay, there are some different fields. The first field, okay, it is saying the username. Okay, it is mentioning the username. So we are logging with a user John. Okay, it may be changed. Suppose if you had login with a Harry user, it will show you the Harry. Okay. Then after at the rate, okay, after the at the rate, here we can find out the second field. It is the host name of your machine. Okay, host name, or basically the computer name. Okay, which you can change as per the our requirement. If the host name is not set on the Linux system, basically by default it will show you the local host. Okay, if the host name is not set manually, then by default it may show you the local host. And the third field, okay, this is your present working directory. Present working directory. So it will show you in which directory exactly you are. For example, if you are in the directory of /India, here you will get the /India. If you are on a desktop, it will show you the desktop. So this is the present working directory. The tilde sign, okay, tilde sign especially reserved to show the home directory. Okay, whenever you are getting the tilde sign, it is a home directory of the user. So this tilde sign indicating that you are inside of the home directory of /John. Okay, so John, I hope you now you know that John is a standard user, and all standard users home directories are inside of the /home. So like this, your current exact existing path is this /home/John. So this uh, tilde sign indicating the home directory of the user, and finally the dollar sign indicating that you are logging with a standard user. Okay, in this second way, okay, in the another example, let me show you the one more syntax of the terminal. Suppose if you are logging with any super user, especially with the root, so the syntax will be like username will be changed. For example, I'm logging with the root, so username will be root here. At the rate, host name is not going to change every time. Okay, host name, it is a fix, so user may change. In that same way, host name is a server, and suppose here is the dollar uh, tilde sign if we're getting. So this time you will get the hash prompt on a terminal. Okay, so hash prompt, it is mentioning that you are logging with a super user in a Linux. Super user same as an administrator in a Windows. Okay, administrator in a Windows, okay, it is working as a super user of Windows operating system, and a root in a Linux, it is working as a super user. So this time this home directory, what it is mentioning, root users home directory, and basically the root users home directory, it is /root. Okay, So this is the syntax of the terminal. Now let me show you the same thing on a Linux system. Okay. Here is we have the username. It is Vinu. At the rate, after that at the rate, this is the host name of my computer. It is server one. Then the tilde sign we are getting, tilde sign, that means the home directory of the user, home directory of the Vinu, and dollar sign. It is indicating that we are logging with a standard user. Vinu is a standard user. So this is the syntax of the terminal. Now let me show you the file architecture with the CLI. Okay. So I'm going to switch on a parent directory. Okay. Now here is our present working directory is a parent directory slash directory. So let's give the first command, that is ls. Okay. So after ls command, okay, as we had seen in a graphical way as well, if you remember, before few minutes we had come to the computer, and here was the all directories. Okay, slash bin, boot, cd-rom, dev, etc. And the same way here are also we have listed the directories. Okay, on a CLI mode, bin, boot, then dev, etc. And also the root directory is there. Okay, home directory is there. Home directory for the standard users home profile. This is the home directory, and many more. So now, here is a time to give some commands, okay, just to understand the Linux operating system uses and all things. So now we are moving towards the basic commands. Basic commands are as simple as the Windows operating systems, okay, but just because of the different file architecture of the operating systems, I'm using the uh, a standard user just to run the command. Okay, so suppose the first command which we had used, it is a list. Okay, ls. So ls, what it is doing, it is giving you the list of the directories and files whatever the available on that location. So we are at the parent directory. Okay, slash directory. So ls command will give you the output of all available content inside of slash directory. So ls, when I fired, I came to know here is the directory called as bin, boot. Okay. And if we want to check the different content from the different directories, so we need to just give the path like ls space slash boot. Okay. We can list out the content of boot like this. Okay. Then if we want to check the content with a slash home, we can give the path with the ls command, ls space slash home. Then we can give the path of again different directories like ls space slash etc. It will give you the list of the different kind of setting and configuration file, because etc directory is about the configuration file. So ls command we can use, okay, to list out the directories. Second command I'm going to fire, it is pwd, okay, present working directory, so that we can come to know inside of which directory we are. Okay, pwd for present working directory. Then cd space whatever directory we need to enter. For example, I want to go in inside of slash etc, so I need to give the command cd space slash etc. And we can see here the present working directory has been changed, etc. And just to cross check again pwd, okay, for present working directory, we can check out with a pwd every time, okay, our current location where we are. Again, cd space slash home I'm going to enter. Now I have been switched in a slash home. We can cross check it by pwd command, present working directory. Okay, someone is with us again. Oh, yes, Srinivasu sir, you raise the hands. Please let me know if there is any doubt.
No, actually, Shambhu wants to attend, but he is not able to logging in since long time he was trying.
Uh, okay, okay. And I hope I got his message as well. Okay, okay. Let me check with Shambhu. Just give me 1 sec only. Okay. Okay, if he will there, I will allow him. So he can join. Okay, fine. So let's continue again. We are discussing about the directories and the commands. Okay, so the command was a cd. To basically cd is working as a change directory. We can change the directory, we can move inside of any directory whatever we need to go, like cd space dot dot. The next command we are using cd space dot dot, just to move one step back. Okay, so first we was inside of slash home, now we switch to the slash or a parent directory. So suppose if I am in the home directory of the Vinu user. Okay, so I'm in Vinu. Vinu is inside of the home, and home is inside of the parent directory. So we can use cd space dot dot to move one step back. So now I came into the slash home. Again, if we are going to cd space dot dot, okay, we came to the parent directory. So in this way, we can use the cd command to change the directory. Okay, pwd command to check our current path, current directory, present working directory, and ls command to list the content. Now, here is one command. Okay, basically sudo. Sudo command is about the permission. Okay, if we want to log in with the root user, okay, we can go with the sudo. So basically, sudo command will help you to get access of the root user. Okay, you need to mention the password of the same user, Vinu user, and then now we can see the difference between a command or the syntax terminal of the two different users. Vinu user having the dollar prompt as it was a standard user, and now I'm logging with the root user. I'm getting the hash prompt. So basically, it is a core difference between a standard user and an administrator user. Administrator is having the entire permission of the operating system. So that now we are logged in with the root user. So now we can run the all system binary. Okay, system binaries which we had discussed in a file architecture. Okay, the binary standard binaries of the super user. Now, again, come to the some basic command. Okay, command like ls. Then we are seeing the pwd to present working directory. Okay, then the next command was the cd to change directory. Now the command is mkdir. Okay, to create directory or to make directory. Mkdir and the directory name you can mention. Okay, whatever directory you need to create. Suppose I'm going to create the directory mkdir India. So I'm not giving the path to that directory. Okay, I'm just going to assign the name of that directory, mkdir space India, and directory will be created. You can cross check with the ls command. Okay, the directory has been created, but here is one more different option. Okay, suppose now I want to create the directory. Okay, call as
Oh,
yes, please.
hello. I didn't get you.
Okay, okay, Shambhu, we will.
Hello.
Yes, Shambhu, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, okay. So we are basically discussing about the Linux, okay, and we are discussing about the commands. So the command which we are going to discuss, the command is mkdir, okay, to make directory, and you have
Back
to give the
directory. Okay.
name of the directory, okay.
Okay.
Suppose I'm going to create the directory Shambhu. So directory has been created over here. So where directories are creating whenever on which location you are. Suppose I am going to check with the pwd present working directory, and I came to know I am inside of the slash root. So the all directories are getting created in the same directory slash root. So India directory is inside of slash root. Then the Shambhu directory has been also created in a slash root. Okay. But what if we want to create the directory, okay, inside of the different directory? For example, I want to create the directory inside of the home directory. I need to give the path slash home slash test. Okay. So this time we are going to create the test directory inside of the slash home. So whatever path we need to assign, okay, wherever we need to create the directive, we just need to mention the path. So this time test directory has been created, okay, but not here, not in a slash root. So we need to give ls space path. Path is slash home because we have created test directory inside of the home directory. So we can find the test directory over here. In that same way, we can use the mkdir command to create the several directories in a different path. For example, now this time I'm going to create the directory called as world directory. So world directory, I'm going to create inside of the parent directory slash directory. Okay. So if I'm going to check the world directory, okay, I need to check it inside of slash ls space slash. So it will show me the directory world. Okay, world is created inside of the parent directory. So path we need to understand. Okay, just to understand the path in a good way, I'm going to create some another directories. In that same way, I'm going to create the directory. Okay, now the same command mkdir we are going to use, but with one of the option -p. What options are there? Okay, in Linux, with every command you will get the several options for the different purposes. Now -p option I'm going to create or going to use. First, let me show you without option what will be the situation. Now I'm in a parent directory, okay, and the world directory which we have created, I have removed that directory now. Now I want to create the directory called as world. Inside of the world, I want to create the Asia. Inside of the Asia, I want to create the India. If I fire this command, okay, it will give me the error because world is not there yet. Okay, then inside of the world, Asia is also not does not exist. Hence, it will give me the error if I fire send command. Okay, the error is cannot create the directory because the world Asia, okay, no such a file directory. So what I need to do, I need to just use the option -p. Okay, so -p will consider as a parent directory. There is a world. Inside of the world, it will create the Asia directory, and inside of the Asia, it will create the India directory. Basically, recursive directories we can create. So now if we check the world, we can see the Asia is also there. Okay, and inside of the Asia, India directory has been created. So we can create the multiple directory, recursive directory by using one of the option -p. So mkdir command is there to create the directory. Next touch command is there to create the file, mp file or 0-byte file. For example, I'm going to create the file touch space file1, and we can check file1 is here. But this file is empty, okay, as touch tool is being used to create the empty file, 0-byte file. So touch space test2, touch space test3. So in that way, some multiple files we can create. Okay, now I'm going to the directory world. Okay, and here there is one more directory called as Asia. Okay, I'm going to create the several files by using the curly bracket. For example, I want to create the files from 1 to 99. Okay, so average 99 files I'm going to create in a single command. So by using ls, we can see here are the files, multiple files, and every file has a name with a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till the 99. So curly bracket will help you to create the sequence file. Okay. Suppose I want to create in the same way multiple files. So with the help of curly bracket, I will use the name test, okay, test, and then A to Z letter I'm going to use, sequence letter. Either we can give the sequence in form of the letters or the numbers. So it will create the file like test A, test B, test C till the test Z. See here. So test A, test B, test C. So it has created the average 24 files by using the letters with the test A, test B, test C. So touch file basically is being used to create the different kind of files, but the 0-byte file or the empty files. Moving ahead, See, now we are inside of the slash word and slash Asia, okay, this directory. And when we check ls, there is a directory called as India, okay. Now I want to create one file, okay, and the file is file 11, okay. So file 11 has been created, but this file is an empty file. Empty file, that means next command we are moving towards after mkdir, the command watch touch space file one or file name, okay, to create the file. Now we are going to create the file is already there, okay. We are going to see the content of the file. For that purpose, the command is a cat, okay, and you need to mention the file name to check the content of that file, okay. For example, here we have the file, okay, file is file 11, and we need to see what contents are inside of that file. So the command will be cat space file 11, and see the file is empty, there is nothing, okay. In that same way, cat command we can use. I want to show you some system configuration file. For example, cat space slash etc. There is passwd file, okay, which we will use in another session for the different purposes. Basically, it is a user management file. Cat space slash etc slash passwd. In this command, cat is just a command, okay, to see the file content and the location. The passwd file is inside of slash etc and passwd. Just hit the enter and we can see this file. Like here are some multiple users, system users and all. In that same way, we can check the several files. For example, there is one file called as OS release inside of slash etc. So cat command is just to check the content inside of slash etc. The file name is OS release. I'm going to enter. Here is the entire detail about the operating system. We are using the Ubuntu, the version 21.4, Hubsuit, okay, and that one. So this cat command is there. Now file 11 we have, okay, cat space file 11. When I fired, the file is empty, okay. So in the same command of cat, okay, we can give the option cat space greater than sign with file name, okay. Greater than sign, this time we are going to use with cat command, cat space greater than sign space file 11. So now I have the option, I can write here, okay. So we can basically add the content in that file by using cat and greater than sign, cat space greater than sign space file name. And once your writing has been done, okay, content has been done, you need to press Control D to save and exit that file. Okay, Control D. After cat space greater than sign, here you can add the content, and then you need to press Control space plus D, okay, to save and exit. So now this content has been saved with that file, and again we are going to check with the cat space file 11. So this file has a content now, okay, in that way. So what cat space greater than sign is, okay, from with this option you can overwrite the file. Overwrite, that means the old content will be again released from the file, okay, erased from the file, and new content will be added. So this time we have the content, okay, hi, we are the Compshiksha. Again I'm using the same command, cat space greater than sign and file name. This time if I'm going to write something, okay, for example only India I'm going to mention, and I'm going to press Control D to save. So this time it will overwrite the content, okay. The old content was, hey, we are Compshiksha, it has been replaced with the India now. Let's see the file, cat space file 11, and here is the file has been overwritten, okay. So this option will help you to overwrite the file, cat space greater than sign. Now what if we want to append the content with the older content? So we need to use the same command, cat space double greater than sign, okay, with a file name. With this command you can append the content, okay. So it will not overwrite this time. Let's see, this time we have the content, it is India. Now I'm going to use double greater than sign with this cat command, okay, cat space double greater than sign with the file 11. I am adding some new keywords, okay, Japan, US, etc. And control D again to save and exit. Okay. Now let's check the content with the cat. Now we have a pain content. India was there. India is still there. With India, new content has been added, Japan and US. So basically, cat to check the file content. Okay. Cat space greater than sign to override the content, and cat space double greater than sign to append the content. So these are the three cat command: cat space greater than sign, and cat space double greater than sign. Then moving ahead towards the command, okay. The command that is same command, okay, mkdir, again we are going to fire, but this time we are going to just apply dot before the directory. Okay, what will happen? Let's see. Okay, mkdir, we are going to create the directory, but just with adding the dot before the name. So okay, we are inside of the slash directory or slash root directory. Here I'm going to create the one directory called as India1. So India1 is there. We can see India1 directory has been there. Okay, it has been created. Now this time I'm going to create, okay, the new directory Mr. India. Okay, Mr. India. But just before Mr. India, I'm going to apply the dot. Okay, I'm just going to add the dot. What dot will do? It will create the directory. Okay. Sorry, command. I have mistake with the command. It is mkdir. Mkdir. Okay. So directory has been created, but if you check with the ls, okay, Mr. India directory, it is invisible directory, same as a Mr. India movie, just because of this dot. So directory is there, data has been created, but we cannot list that directory with a normal command ls. In that same way, I'm going to create the file touch space. For example, I'm going to create this time uh, China directory, okay, with starting with a dot again. So file will be created. China file is there, but again, it is a hidden file. So we have created one hidden directory, one hidden file by implementing dot only before the file name, before the directory name. So how we can list out? ls command, it is listing you the files and directories, but not hidden files and directories. For that purpose, we need to use the option ls space hyphen a for the all. Okay, ls space hyphen a. After ls space hyphen a, we can list out the Mr. India directory as well. And then the file, it was China file. See, the China file is also there. So what is the use of hyphen a with ls space hyphen a? It will show you the all hidden content of the Linux machine as well. So ls space hyphen a, we can see list out the hidden content, and if we need to create the hidden files, hidden directories, we need to just put the dot before the file name, like touch space dot test33, okay, like that. Or if we want to create the hidden directory, mkdir space data directory, okay, data directory has been created, but it is a invisible, like a hidden directory, so data is there. So in that way, we can create the hidden directories as well by just putting the dot, okay, mkdir, or even the touch to create the file with the dot file one, like this. So now, as previously we was using the cat command to see any file like etc, passwd, okay. Same file I want to check, cat space slash etc slash passwd, but let me show you on a terminal. I'm going to see this file, passwd. So the file is very huge. Even I am not able to see where it starts. Okay, so I need to scroll up slowly, and will come to know, acha, the file was there. Okay, like this. So this command cat command is giving the entire output of the file, but we are not relating exactly the start of the file and the end of the file. So for that purpose, now we are going to use a different command. Command is a head, okay, head with a file name, etc passwd. What it will give you the output? It will list the top 10 line of the file only top 10. Okay. The command, instead of cat, we need to use the head. And if we are going to use the tail command with any file, tail space /etc /passwd, it will list out the last 10 line. So let's see the both command on Linux systems. I'm going to use the head space /etc/passwd. It will just give me the list of top 10 lines, starting with the root. First line is a root, and the 10th number line is the news. Okay, top 10 lines. And if I'm going to use the same command, instead of head, I'm going to use the tail command. It will show me the last 10 lines. These are the last 10 lines of that file. So head and tail command we can use. Head to check the top 10 lines, tail to check the last bottom 10 lines. Again, there is one more choice we have. Suppose if I need to check only one line or the first line of the file. Okay, first line of the file. I can mention here the number of the lines, hyphen number 1, just to get or just to check the top line of the file. Okay, it is root. Okay, again, if I want to check the top 3 lines of the same file, I can change the number top 3. So it will show me the root, daemon, and B. So these are the top 3 lines of that file. In that same way, I want to check the last 3 files. I need to just replace head with a tail. Tail space -3 space file name /etc/passwd. It will give you the output of last 3 lines of that file. In the same way, you can just give the number, how much lines you need to check. Tail space -1, that means last line of that file, head and tail. So you can use those commands instead of the entire cat command. Cat command will give the entire output of that file, but head will allow you to check the specific lines from the top, and tail will allow you to check the specific last lines of the file, head and tail. So basically, these are 3 commands to check the file content: head, cat, and tail. Then moving ahead, now suppose whatever the content I have, okay, I'm going to check the content first. I have the directory called as word, and what if I need to remove the directory? Okay, before removing any directory in any operating system, you have to make sure that you have taken the data backup. Okay, so let's suppose I want to delete or remove this directory word. I need to give the command rm space -rf and the name of the directory. Okay, that directory will be immediately removed. Word has been removed from here. Now suppose I want to remove the data directory. That data directory was basically inside of /root, which we have created. I think it was hidden directory, right? ls space -a. So China file is there, and also directory called data is there. Okay, so we can remove one by one. But now this time you need to mention the path of those directory, because those directory are inside of /root. So we need to mention the path. Command will be same: rm space -rf space /root / hidden hai. That's why for hidden we are going to implement the ./data. So let's check once again. Data has been removed. So same in the same way, China file is there, and it is with a dot. So same command we can use: rm space -rf dot China, like that. So the command rm space -rf we can use to remove or delete any file or directory. So basically, rm is a command to remove. Option by using implementing -r for recursive and f for forcefully, and then you can give the file name or directory name which you need to remove, file or directory, rm space -rf. But just the thing is, you need to mention the path. okay, exact path on which you need to remove that content. Suppose the India one, okay, here is the directory called as India one. It is inside of the slash root directory, and if I am inside of the parent directory now, okay, I cannot remove the India directory one from the parent directory. Okay, you can see in slash root, still you can find out the directory is still there. So you need to give the path rm space hyphen rf space slash root slash India one. Okay, in that way, path will help you. Even paths are important to create the directory, to list the content, to delete the content. Okay, if you are not giving the appropriate path, the command will not give an impact in that sense. So these are some basic commands. Okay, rm to remove the file or directory, basically the content. Head to check the top lines. Tail to check the bottom lines of any file. Cat command to check entire output of the file. Touch command to create the file, empty file. Mkdir to create the directory. Then previous command like pwd was there to check the present working directory where exactly we are. Then the command cd was there to change the directory. Then cd space dot dot was there to move one step back with the cd space dot dot. So these are the basic commands. Just it is all about the practice. Okay, you need to spend some time with the Linux operating system, and trust me, the 80% Linux operating systems or the commands are the same. Whenever you are going to use the CentOS or Ubuntu or even RHEL, okay, the same command you have to fire on a terminal. But just the thing is, you need to again understand about the options. Let me tell you one more important thing is, if you need any help about any command, okay, you can refer the man pages in a Linux. Man space, you need to give the name of the command. Suppose I need the help about ls command. Okay, so here is man page of the ls command. Okay, including the name of the command, description, the options which are available, okay, with the command, and many more things, including the examples as well, how you can fire this command. So man page will help you to get the help of any command. Suppose I'm going to take the man page of mkdir. Okay, here is the help with the make directories command. Okay, descriptions and the options and multiple things are there. So this man page you can use to get the help about any command in a Linux. It is a by default feature of a Linux. One more feature I'm going to tell you. Okay, in a Linux, same way. Linux has a feature, okay, of a terminal. So it is a basically command completion feature, okay, command completion feature. So I hope you had used the same feature in a command prompt of the Windows as well, or even the in PowerShell command completion feature. For example, if you are going to take the command system ctl, okay, so just type the sys first three letters, and it will list the command we start with sys. For example, on terminal, I'm going to use sys, and if I'm going to press the double tap, it will give me the list of the all entire commands start with sys. Okay, so there are multiple commands which start with sys. Then I have given syste, okay, system, so it will complete the command automatically. So you can give the space, you can use here the tab key to get the options, okay, and again the tab key to complete the command systemctl. So this feature will again see in a next coming session, okay, how we can use effectively double tap, single tap to for the command completion feature. And here are the several different kind of features are available with the Linux. That is the core reason why Linux is getting more popular among the corporate sector nowadays, especially for the servers. So this is all about the today's session. Okay, it is all about the Linux file architecture and basic commands. Okay, hope it is clear with you. If you have any doubt regarding the today's session commands and file architecture, please put it on a chat box, or else we'll again meet on by tomorrow on the same time with the new and next level concept. Also, we have the WhatsApp group, so you can put your messages on a WhatsApp group as well. Of course, we'll share the recording as well for the same session. So please let me know if there are some doubts, questions, queries. Fine. If no doubt, let's stop here today and see you by tomorrow on the same time. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time, guys. Have a great day ahead.